upper framing has been installed already and planed on top. Do a little bit of filling with epoxy putty. Getting anxious to put the decking and the cabin on, and I'm having second thoughts about placement of the cabin trunk, and so I'm experimenting a little bit by making a model and moving it around to see what it looks like. Darn bandsaws in a way, but just experimenting. I'll put a design a port hole or a window for the cabin. I'm having thoughts of extending it aft a little more. Gives it more headroom and moves the weight aft. Concerned that I may be piling up too much weight in the forward section. Once the mast goes in, that boat can be down in the bow. These vertical structures under the deck beam are called stiffeners or battens, and their purpose is to support the loads from the deck beam and the shear log which the deck beam is attached to, and spread it to the hull and down the lower part of the boat. Install them today. There's one will go under each beam. I just installed 3 number 12 1.5 inch silicone bronze screws into the side of the hull to pull it in tight, give it that strength it needs. And with the glue, that's going to be very powerful. There will be no deflection on the hull at these points. That's why they call them stiffeners as well. Each one of the beams on each side will have these stiffeners. Few handy tools to keep in the boat. Notice their central location. I learned the hard way by reaching across the boat. If you keep things centrally located in the middle of the boat, it makes it a lot easier. Incidentally, the plumb bob is used to plumb the beams that enter into the cockpit. Those have to be perfectly vertical because they're going to support partitions later on. It will be noted that each of the stiffeners are 1.5 inch thick fur, and each one is tailor cut to fit the precise location. They have to be bevel at the bottom and the top, and they run a taper. They're wider at the base than they are at the top. And that's because of the difference in thickness between the chine. It's a little wider, and the shear log or shear clamp. Sometimes it's necessary to put a shim to get a good tight fit. This I've done generously where needed. Okay, just finished using a router to round off the edges of the stem post. This will go on the bow transom. Bevel on the bottom to fit the contour of the hull. Represents a lamination of a couple 2x4 pieces of Douglas fir, laminated together, clamped, etc. This will be a prominent feature as one looks at the